life coach. I am the CEO of Undefeatable University, an online training community for self-development at KalilaJohnson.com. I am also a generational impact and legacy strategist. I'm here with a message: don't get even, get better. And so many, when they hear that message, they're probably thinking I'm about to dig in on somebody. I'm gonna be like, let your haters be your footstool, or let your haters be your motivation. I'm not about to tell you that. I'm actually about to talk about forgiveness. Don't tune out yet. Just listen to me for a second. I've got some background in this. And so I wanted to talk about a time when God had me go through the most intense forgiveness process, and it was not easy. I am not going to lie to you and say, I just decided to forgive. Many people say that, like, just forgive them, but they don't tell you how. There are some things that are humanly impossible to forgive on our own. I truly believe that. Some things are not, unless you come and take this pain or take me through the process and show me how. I remember saying that to him, show me how to forgive him, because I want him to die. So unless you can show me how, and I'm talking about my ex-husband, not my new husband, but my ex-husband, who I had suffered at the hand of so much abuse that I had tried to take my own life, and it was just a lot of just like trauma, just evil. And so I remember asking God, show me how, because now I have to start over and restart from scratch. I'm in a worse off place than I was when I was a single mother, and now I'm here trying to regain my mind just to live and survive. And so I remember being so angry that God was saying, I'm going to teach you how to forgive. And he says, pray for him. I need you to be more in love with your son than you hate him. I want you to pray for his father. I want you to pray for the salvation and pray for him that he will be the man that your son needs. Make it about your son, not just make it about what he did to you and that you want me to vengeance, but I need you to pray for his soul. And so I would get on my knees and I would pray, although that I was angry. And it was hard because at times I just wanted to pray that he got hit by a truck. And I admitted that to God. I said, I mean, what would you want me to pray? Because this is what I'm feeling right now. And this is the thing I want to also remind you. God can handle your pain. He can handle your honesty. As long as you don't say, I'm not going to. If you can just tell him, this is what I'm feeling at this moment. Will you help me through this process? God will truly honor that decision to forgive. And so what he did was he would have me get on my knees and pray for him until the feeling subsided. And there were times that it felt like it was hours, and then I would get up and be like, I feel better. And seconds later I would be right back at that moment, remembering a memory of what he did to me or what he did to my children, and I had to drop back to my knees and be like, oh, you not gonna win. Oh, because I understood that if I held on to this offense, if I didn't figure out a way to forgive him, he would have won in destroying me. And so I understood that anytime that there's attack against us, there's an agenda from hell that is to destroy us. And the only time that agenda can actually work is when we decide to not let it go. I know that it feels better to say, I'll never forgive you. But in actuality, as the scripture says in Matthew 7:1, this is the scripture that the Lord was showing that many are being held in bondage to. The enemy is using this scripture to use it as a legal right to keep you from your inheritance. It says, do not judge, or you too will be judged. For in the same way you judge others, you will be judged. And with the measure you use, it will be measured to you. Now, the other part of that scripture, another scripture that comes to mind, it says, Matthew 6:12, and it says, and forgive us our debts as we also forgive our debtors. This is the Lord, part of the Lord's Prayer. This is God telling you, like, listen, you have to forgive. There's a Bible verse that talks about the man who was forgiven of millions of dollars, and maybe I'm making an exaggeration, but I don't know, it was a lot of shekels or something. And he was given the ability by the person he owed to not have to owe that amount. And then when he saw the person that owed him like $5, he was like, hey, I'm taking your daughter, I'm taking your cattle, I'm taking your life, I'm gonna lock you up, give me everything I got, give me everything, give me your land. Like, I mean, I'm exaggerating, but he basically would not forgive for such a small amount of debt. And what happened is that got back to the person that had forgiven him of all this millions of dollars that he owed him, and he says, now not only will you have to pay this back, but I'm gonna lock you up. So what happens is that's the law that God is using, that parable, to remind us that when we are so self-righteous, or we believe that we don't have to forgive, that the enemy now has rights to rob us of what is rightfully ours. And I know that we can feel like this emotion is too deep. You don't know what they did to me. I heard that from someone who I had to let them know, like, this is what the enemy is holding against you in the courts of heaven. This is what you're being held back from. And they're like, but you don't understand. Like, so you literally saying, I'm ready to give everything away for my right to be right. And that's deep. But don't get it twisted. I understand that feeling like I don't know how to forgive. But then that's when the Father says, give it to me. I'll show you. I'll teach you all things. I mean, I understand what it is. I understand what your pain is like. I understand you more than you even can imagine. But if you could just trust me with your pain. Don't hide behind fig leaves and when the Father say, where are you? And you're like, oh, I'm not here. If you remember in the Bible when they sinned, Adam and Eve sinned, and God called out and said, Adam, where are you? And he wasn't asking Adam because he didn't know. He was asking Adam because he needed Adam to know. Do you know how far you've stepped away from me? Do you know where you are? Do you know what you're giving up? Do you know what you're attempting to hide from me? That I can see the pain. You don't have to put on this self-righteous, oh, they didn't bother me a bit. And then it comes out in slander and gossip and all of this accusations. But if you could just trust me with your pain, that I've made a way of escape. And so that's the word of the Lord today. I want to remind you, don't get even. Get better. Let God use the very thing that was thrown against you, that was sent against you to destroy you, to stop you, to slander you, to accuse you, to humiliate you. Let him use it to empower you, to strengthen you, and to set the captives free. For all things in the Master's hands become such a powerful tool against the enemy's weapons. And so I just want to bless you today. Again, transformation is intentional. Change requires commitment, and you are your greatest investment. In order to make impact, you have to begin within. And so again, follow me here, follow me on all my social media platforms. If you want to see this full message, you can go to at KalilaJohnson.com, and please register for my mailing list. There's so many things coming. I've been working really hard at KalilaJohnson.com. Go there and register for my website so we can stay connected. And until tomorrow around this time, I'll be right here until the end of the year. I'm going to keep coming back. So I hope you can make it. God bless you.